Okay, so for this tutorial I'll be using a nice thick 100% cotton yarn, so it's not nice and easy to see, and I'll be using a 5mm hook. So once you've got all this, come back and join me and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm going to do some slip stitches into the row of single crochets that I just did. So in through the first stitch, we're going to go through that stitch, pull up a loop. I might make this stitch a little bit tighter. Wait a second, because it's gone a bit loose. There we go. In through, pull up a loop. We have 2 loops on the hook. The loop that we just pulled up, we want to pull that through the loop on the hook. So pulling that loop in through that loop on the hook, like so, creating our first slip stitch. So we want to go through the stitch, then we pull up a loop, then we pull that loop we just pulled through the stitch through the loop on the hook. That creates our second slip stitch. So again, going through that loop, pulling up, going through that stitch, pull up a loop, and then we pull that loop through the loop on the hook. Going through the stitch, pull up a loop, then we pull the loop we just pulled up through the loop on the hook. Pull up a loop, whoops, there we go, we'll do that again. Go through the stitch, pull up a loop, and then we pull the stitch we just pulled up through the loop on the hook. So going through that stitch, pull up a loop, and then we pull the loop that we just went through the stitch through the loop on the hook. Going through the stitch, pull up a loop, pull that loop we just pulled up through the stitch through the loop on the hook. Going through the stitch, pull up a loop, pull the loop we just pulled through the stitch through the loop on the hook. Bring it up nice and close for the last 2 so you can really see. Going through the stitch here, pull up a loop, and then pull the loop that we just pulled up through the loop on the hook. So again, one more time, going through the stitch, the last stitch is always difficult, pull up a loop. Is it going to focus for me? Oh, there we go. Pull up a loop, and then we pull the loop that we just pulled through the stitch through the loop on the hook. Like so. So that shows us how to do our slip stitches. So now I will show you how to utilize your slip stitches in different ways. So we'll just start with a single crochet, single standing crochet, just to start with. And then we'll chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the 4th stitch, into the 4th stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch. So we go through that loop, through that stitch, we pull up a loop, giving us 2 loops on the hook. Oh, and then we pull the loop we just pulled through the stitch through the loop on the hook. So that creates a slip stitch like that for our little chain space. So I'll do a chain up of 2, and then I'll chain 3 for a picot. And then again, so the picot, we're going to be doing a slip stitch at the end. So we slip stitch through the 3rd chain from the stitch, like so. And then we'll chain 2 more. And then we'll do a slip stitch into the 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. So then again, we go through the 4th stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull the loop we just pulled through that stitch through the loop on the hook, creating a slip stitch. And then I'll just finish with a single crochet. So yeah, that's different ways you can use your slip stitch to do different stitches and have different textures depending on what you're requiring. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!